5 News at Noon starts now.
Right now at noon, it's day one of the government shutdown, and hundreds of thousands of federal workers face furloughs. Next steps and what to expect coming up. And the 25th annual Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue kicks off in Rogers today. We'll learn how the rally supports local charities. Well, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Morgan Wrigley here with Noah Simmons. It's October 1st today. A lot of us ready to bring out our fall clothes, the fall colors today. But as far as the temperatures go, it's still not quite cool enough.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time before we really get to those cooler temperatures. I mean, high temperatures today, a little too warm for October 1st, if you ask me, and that's going to continue too the next several days. And kind of look at the next several days, really, it's going to be on the warmer side. So we're going to have to be a little bit patient before we get there. And good news is that we're all calm and quiet here. We had a little bit of fog around this morning, but that has since dissipated. So we're all calm here in that satellite and radar. Over the next 12 hours in northwest Arkansas, expect those temperatures into those middle 80s. Lots of sunshine to talk about, and then the clearing skies overnight as those temperatures will fall off to those 70s and those 60s by about 11 p.m. in that midnight hour. And then River Valley going to be a little bit warmer today, overall upper 80s with a few of those afternoon clouds, and then those temperatures falling off into those 70s and again those 60s into the overnight hours. Like Morgan said, it's going to take some time before those warmer temperatures really kind of fade into the cooler temperatures. In fact, this is where we usually see our peak fall colors. This is courtesy of Explore Fall down there, but we're in this little yellow area, so ideally late October, early November. But high temperatures in the 80s, low temperatures in the 60s, it's not going to cut it for us. We're going to talk about some cooler temperatures potentially on the way. I'm going to detail that and what we could expect here over the next few days.
Thanks, Noah. Well, it's day one of a government shutdown with both Republican and Democratic leaders at a stalemate over how to move forward. Republican leaders have signaled they could hold more votes today as hundreds of thousands of federal workers across the country are furloughed. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
For the first time in nearly 7 years, the federal government shut down at midnight with no sign of how long it could last.
Well, it ends when the Senate Democrats pick this bill up, passed by the House of Representatives, and vote for it.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune has signaled there are ongoing conversations with rank-and-file Democrats in an effort to convince them to break with party leadership and support the GOP's short-term funding measure.
What gives us the ability to win this argument with the American people is we're standing for what they want with health care, and they are not.
Democratic leaders say they're standing firm that a negotiation has to address their concerns over health care cuts and extending enhanced health care tax credits under the Affordable Care Act.
We inherited this really bad health care system from the last days of the Biden administration. We want to fix it. We just don't want to shut down the government while we're fixing it.
The Trump administration's Office of Management and Budget acknowledged it's difficult to predict how long a shutdown will last and directed agencies to begin shutdown operations.
The Congressional Budget Office estimates 750,000 federal workers could be furloughed each day. Essential employees, including federal law enforcement, military service members, and TSA agents, are required to continue working without pay for now. Aaron Barker works for the TSA in Atlanta.
If it gets to that point where officers can't afford to come in or have to make a decision whether to purchase medication, pay daycare, or put gas in the car to come to work, they're going to have to make that hard decision, and no one really wants to do that.
President Trump has said the shutdown could also result in layoffs and cuts of programs that don't fit with his priorities. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
When asked about the potential layoffs yesterday, President Trump said a lot of people will be laid off. He's also indicated he wants to slash more government programs during the shutdown. Well, what does the government shutdown mean for Arkansas? Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders released the protocol her administration will enforce if the shutdown continues. She says that they'll work with the Department of Finance and Administration to determine which programs must be suspended and which employees will be furloughed. The spokesperson for the Finance Department says some state employees could be furloughed starting this morning.
If it proceeds, you'll have 264 state employees affected, and that's out of roughly just above 22,000 in the executive branch.
There are still questions over if that number could grow the longer the shutdown lasts. The department stressed the programs that serve public health and safety will continue to operate. Well, new at noon, Oklahoma Highway Patrol troopers are investigating a deadly crash involving a train in Sequoia County. Troopers say this happened on East 1108 Road when the vehicle was crossing over the railroad tracks and then was hit by the train. 23-year-old Charles Stimson died. Family members say his brother, 19-year-old Jacob Stimson, is in critical condition at a Northwest Arkansas hospital. The crash happened on September 18th, but troopers just released the crash report. A GoFundMe has been made to help the family with expenses. Also new at noon, Arkansas State Police say an Oklahoma man was killed in this fiery crash on I-40. This image is from an RDOT camera. It shows the aftermath and first responders on the scene. State Police say 62-year-old Ricky Riley was making a U-turn when a Freightliner hit his vehicle and it caught on fire. The crash halted traffic for hours Monday afternoon. Police say a passenger in Riley's vehicle and the driver of the semi were taken to a hospital. We're learning changes to how child care providers in the state are reimbursed will not go into effect until November 1st. The changes to the School Readiness Assistance Program were supposed to kick in today. Well, State Education Secretary Jacob Oliva said an abrupt change in how the federal government funds the program caused his agency to have to make quick adjustments. Providers say it left them with no time to adjust and threatened some with having to make cuts. At a meeting Tuesday at the Capitol, they shared their complaints.
Did we meet with local providers? Did we talk to our team? Did we look at other states? Did we ask as many people as we could? Yes. Is this the perfect solution? No. I'm not disagreeing, but we have to do something.
The old system created an incentive for providers to offer higher quality early education programs, but the new plan sends out the same rate to all providers. They now have at least a month to adjust. Another change that does kick in today, recipients above certain income levels will now have a copay. Recent shootings at churches across the country have pushed many church congregations to focus on safety. One class in Northwest Arkansas is helping members prepare in case the unthinkable were to ever happen. The U.S. Concealed Carry Association hosted a Protecting Your House of Worship class in Taneytown. This comes as just this week, 4 people were killed in a shooting and fire at a Michigan church. And in August, 2 children lost their lives during a mass in Minneapolis. The training covered how to identify potential threats, create an emergency plan, and secure a church during services. Organizers say the goal is to give congregations practical steps to keep their community safe.
Most of them make themselves a really soft target, right? No guns, no this, no that. We want to keep everybody out that has guns or whatever, and that leads to the bad guys showing up with a gun because they don't care about the signs.
Instructors say they hope the class is just a starting point and that other churches will continue to seek this training. Today, the 25th annual Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue begins in downtown Rogers. Every year, hundreds of thousands of people travel for this event. The rally officially kicked off at around 10 this morning with the first demo of the bikes and vendors opening up just in time for lunch. The board is also focused on connecting with younger fans, including a new youth band performing Thursday night and a partnership with Heritage High School for a car and bike show that's on Saturday. Over the course of its 25 years, the rally has donated over $3 million to nonprofits and charities in the region.
Stuff like this is very expensive to host and to put on. And so a lot of times, we hear the feedback that, we don't have any national touring bands or all that stuff costs money. And the more money we spend on that stuff, the less money we have to give back. And so for us, every decision we make in the boardroom is based on the ability to give money back at the end of the event.
Tonight is Faith and Family Night. Music is set to begin around 6. And a reminder, the event is at 3rd Street from Cherry through Walnut. So if you're in the area, you're not part of the event, you should expect some delays. The city of Centerton is one step closer to bringing 300 new jobs into town. That's thanks in part to an approval by the City Planning Commission to build its first Walmart Supercenter. The new supermarket is expected to include a fuel station and convenience store and will be built near Centerton Boulevard in South Main. The hope is for construction to start on this early next year. Happening today, the Northwest Arkansas Fall Job Fair, putting over 60 employers all in one place, giving those looking for a job a better shot at applying with multiple companies. It runs from 10 to 3 today at the Rogers Activity Center. Job seekers can meet with those employers there. John Brown University and At Work Bentonville are teaming up for this event. Organizers say it is the largest and longest running job fair in the state, and you can take your resume and drop by. And Main Street Fort Smith is offering something new in an effort to boost downtown. Starting today, downtown businesses and property owners can apply for a mini grant. It's a program aiming to keep downtown Fort Smith's historic character alive while allowing businesses to also make upgrades to their spaces while also keeping what makes Fort Smith unique. The mini grant includes 50-50 reimbursement grants ranging from $1,500 to $7,500. The deadline to apply is November 14th. And for more information on this, you can reach out to Main Street Fort Smith. Well, new tariffs on many prescription drugs are taking effect today. Those import taxes on branded and patented drugs are set at 100%, but there are some exceptions. At the same time, the president is offering Americans a new way to buy drugs at a discount. Kelly O'Grady has more.
So the pharma industry warns it could mean higher prices for Americans, but analysts that we've spoken to suggest the impact won't be that large for 3 reasons. First, the tariff won't hit generic drugs, which account for more than 90% of medications in the U.S. Additionally, deals with the European Union and Japan, of course, both major sources of pharmaceuticals, that caps tariffs on most drugs at 15%. Finally, any company that has broken ground or is in construction at a U.S. manufacturing facility is exempt. Now, one company doing just that is Pfizer. President Trump announced the drug maker will invest $70 billion in American manufacturing and research facilities. In exchange, it avoids those pharma tariffs for 3 years. As part of the deal, Pfizer will also sell its drugs to Medicaid patients for the lowest price available in other developed nations. Now, the White House also announced Trump RX. That's a direct-to-consumer website where Americans can get medicines at a discount beginning early next year. Pfizer is the first partner and says it will sell many of its drugs at a 50% savings on that site. Now, industry critics argue most Americans won't reap the benefits. Why? Most patients obtain drugs through insurance providers. With Trump RX, it appears that consumers will need to pay out of pocket. Regardless, consumer advocacy groups call this a win for patients when U.S. drug prices are nearly 3 times more than other countries. Kelly O'Grady, CBS News, New York.